Welcome to Looking to Buy a House. We're back with the home buying process. Number 6, the inspections. You guys need to know what inspections to have, what's their purpose, how much can they cost, and at the end of the day, is it possible that I have to pay for more than one? Let's get started. We're talking about inspections. What do you need to know? I'm going to start with the types of inspections. We've got a house inspection. The purpose of this is to have someone come through your home that you will be buying and find every material defect that's possible. Their job is to find everything that's wrong. So I want to set the expectation to not be overwhelmed when they find things. Every house has natural wear and tear. It's important though to know they are there to find things. They're going to tell you everything from major to the minor crack that you can barely see. The first type, you want the home inspection, okay? You want somebody, personally, this is a little tip, nobody else knows this. I actually hire a guy and he's a perfect size. What I mean by that is he's a size he can get in attics and get in crawl spaces. If you bring a guy out that's a couple 100 pounds, he's a little bit heavier set, he might not be able to get up in the attic and walk around, get on the roof or down in the crawl. So it's a weird little thing, but just a little tip for you to know. I don't know how you find that out. I don't know how you go out asking the guy. I just know my guy is that size, so it works. Can't be on the phone with someone and be like, how much do you weigh? Are you a big guy? Could you get in the crawl space? You might get offended, so don't do that. But it's a good thing to ask them, do you go in the attic? They're gonna say, yeah. Ask them, do you walk around in the attic? No, we just poke our head up. Do you go in the crawl space? Yeah, we look in the crawl. Do you physically get down, go around the whole crawl space? You need to know that. Do they get on the roof? A lot of inspectors right now, for liability reasons, put a ladder up and will look at your roof, but they won't get on it. All right, so for the home inspection, the typical cost on that, you have to look at the per square foot. That's what it's going to be based off of. Typically, if I have anywhere between 1,000 or 2,000 square foot home, it's around that $400 to $600 range, okay? Quick tip, do not go with the cheapest inspector because you want to save money. Cheapest inspector will not save you money. He will cost you thousands. It's a skill to see evidence of certain things in the home and understand what that means and how it affects the house. And when you have a professional in there that knows what they're looking for, he's able to tell you, hey man, the roof was a little slanted, floors were uneven. That is evidence of a structural thing going on. And we go in the basement, we find out that the wall's built. So they're able to understand everything with the house when you get the right guy. Don't go cheap, choose the right person. Once you get the home inspection done, you're gonna wanna get either a sewer scope if you have a sewer and it's municipal, or if you're on a septic, you wanna get the septic inspected. They're gonna come out, take the top off, they're gonna dig holes, make sure that the field's working great, everything that they need to know that septic is working properly. The sewer scope, they're gonna feed a line with the camera down the entire scope all the way until where it hits the tap at the sewer line, main drain. They're gonna tell you if there's any cracks, if it's broken, if there's any bellies. They're gonna tell you if there's roots growing in it, if there's any blockage. All of these are important. Do not mess around with sewer problems. They can cost you thousands if you end up having to re-dig it up. If you find something with that sewer line, understand, yeah, it's an extra $150, $250 for that sewer scope, but it could save you $5,000, $10,000 from having to dig up a line and replace it. When you're talking about houses that have septics and wells, make sure you get the septic done. For the well, make sure you get the water tested. The water test I recommend across the board, the FHA approved one. There's a lot of different tests you can get. The FHA has a combination of multiple tests that's run in it. The biggest of which is the arsenic levels. So when the water guy tells you, hey, what test do you want? You don't know. Just tell them the FHA approved one. Even if you're going conventional, even if you have a cash, the FHA approved one, it's just a standard for the best living condition of water. The purpose of all of these is to make sure that anything that's wrong with the house, you know about. After you sign and you close on the home, it's your responsibility. So if you don't get your sewer scope and you close and you find out that it's broken a month later and you have to get it scoped and cleaned and rebuilt, there's no going back and saying, hey, you didn't tell us about this. Well, they didn't know. They don't scope their sewer. It's up to us as the buyers to have that inspected. And I know people that their agent didn't tell them to get the sewer scope when they got in the house. $10,000 later, after digging up their sewer line and replacing it, they're finally starting to have it work. All right, guys, at the end of the day, you've got, let's say $500-600 for your home inspection, a couple $100 for sewer scope or a septic to be done. You also want to get a radon test if you're in an area that radon is prevalent. So like Oakland County, highly recommend you get a radon test. That's going to tell you if the levels within the house are higher than they should be. Radon is one of the leading causes of cancer. It's a gas, you can't smell it, and it comes up underneath from the ground into our houses. If you find any issues with the house, you're able to renegotiate after. That's the biggest question I get asked. Jake, what happens if we find something? If we find something, we can renegotiate. If we can't come to a compromise after the inspection, then we can walk away penalty-free, our earnest money deposit is returned, and we get to move on. A couple big ones that always look out for: sewer issues, foundation issues, roof, structural. Anything that's structural is major issues. Personally, I don't get involved with them, and it's not because I don't feel safe in the house. My biggest reason is because one day you need to sell that house, and I always think about the exit. When you sell that house and you've got braces on your walls, they could be 100% right, your house can be standing up, no issues, full warranty, lifetime, but someone's gonna walk in the basement and go, I just would rather buy a house that doesn't have foundation issues. So that's a big thing, guys. Keep that in mind. And if there's something that the seller knows or that you know about with the house, you have to disclose that when you go to sell. You can't cover it up. If you do, you can be in big trouble. That's getting into fraud. The last one, guys, is the possibility of multiple inspections. The reason I put this on here, I want to tell you that when you're buying a house, there's upfront costs. A lot of people aren't told this, but when you're buying a home and you get your inspections done, sometimes they can fall through, which means you still have to pay your inspector. He still came out and did his job. You might be out $800, and now we walk away from the deal and we have to find another house. Well, we have to get that inspected too. We can't just hope. So that's another, let's say $800 to $1,000. Understand that every home you go into, you've got to get it inspected. And when you find things that are troubling, that cause you to say, I don't want this house anymore, you lose that inspection money. So when you're thinking about how much money do I need to buy a house, understand to have at least one round of inspections, potentially 2 or 3. The worst I've ever had was 3 inspections done by the same buyer on different homes. 1 is typically where we're at, but 2 is not uncommon. So keep that in mind, guys. One last tip, it's not on the board, but it's in my brain. When you're scheduling your inspections, staggering them can save you money. So I get my home inspection done. The next day, I have my sewer scope. The reason I do it the next day is if you find foundation issues, if you find something about the house that just causes you to want to walk away, well, you save the $250 on your sewer scope because you don't bring the guy out. When you schedule them all at once, whether you want it or not, he's going to be there and do it. You found the foundation's bad, you still got to pay the sewer scope guy because he did his job. So that's just a quick tip, stagger them. But guys, this is the inspections. Hit subscribe, give us a follow. And again, if you have any questions about this, any questions about do you know good inspectors, I have great references I can send you to. Put a comment below and we will engage with you. We are lookingtobuyhouse.com. Thank you very much, guys. Stay tuned for more. We've got number 7 coming up.